Hello students, here's Professor Plinio Monteiro again, and now we are going to discuss the importance of marketing. First of all, what is marketing? Think about it a little bit. Try to think what kind of words, or what kind of concepts, what you believe, or what is related to market in your mind. So when you think about marketing, what comes to your mind? What words, what processes, what is related to marketing? Many times, people will relate marketing to some negative thoughts, like just sales and advertisement, and telling that marketing is basically a way to push away the products of the company without taking care of what really people need. And sometimes when people believe that marketing is doing such a thing, we also attach a negative affect or a negative feeling against marketing. We can see one of these trends when you think about what we call the colloquial vision of marketing or the ordinary vision of marketing. For instance, this gourmet wave is basically somehow related to this view of marketing as a negative thing. For instance, you pick up an ordinary product and then you create a very good message, a very good packaging, a good advertisement, and then you have a very high price. And people will love your product and buy it. But basically, people maybe buying the same thing. Nothing changed in the product. Nothing's really new. It's just marketing. And this is a good example of how a bad marketing can be and how bad marketing strategies, people that do not really understand the concept of market, can create a negative view of marketing. And sometimes this is related to people that are lying, people that are not telling the truth about what is behind the product. But let's think a little bit more and see how marketing has nothing to do with that. To understand this, we need to think that marketing is a part of our society. And in the last 2 centuries, many institutions appeared in our society. These institutions are responsible for bringing a lot of changes in the way of life in many countries in the world. Some can tell that these institutions are bringing bad things to our society, but the data will show that many measures of material life has improved a lot in the last 2 centuries, like the decrease of poverty, the number of people that are under a democracy, and also the availability of health and healthcare to people. And so we can see that these institutions are basically in the core, it are the basic element that brought these changes to our society. And we can name many different institutions, and one way to represent this group of institutions is thinking about the model of our society. And basically, in the majority of the modern societies, we have the market capitalism as the main model for running the economies and political systems in each country. And in the heart of market capitalism, we have many different institutions. We have for instance, some of those institutions, we have the competition. So you need to protect competition, to let business compete to conquer new customers, and to do so, they need to improve the quality, they need to reduce the cost, they need to serve in a better way the market, and only the ones that are able to deliver best products can survive if you have a lot of competition. Also, another institution is the property rights. You can only have exchange if you have property rights. Without property rights, there is no trade because you cannot sell something that does not belong to you. In that case, modern societies have a lot of elements to protect property rights, including the protection of life. That's the basic form of property. If you're not alive, you don't have anything. So many institutions will protect property and life, and in these modern institutions, modern in countries, and only with that, with your life and with your property, you will be able to have trade, and so it's possible to have competition to see which business will have more customers in the market. Of course, you can only do that if you are free to make the trade. If you cannot choose what you're going to create, if you have a lot of restrictions and telling that you cannot do what you want with your life or what you want with the things that that belongs to you, then you're going to have a problem in terms of trade. And because of that, this institution of economic freedom is present in many developed countries and in the majority of the countries that run with capitalism, market capitalism. And also we have the rise of science and technology. So science and technology is science and technology are the institutions that promote the development of new products, better products, that increase the productivity, that improve human life. And when you use science and technology to produce, to develop innovations, then you have new products and services that can be sold to the market and used by competition, by the exchange of property rights, if you have the free will to do that. And these four institutions, these four institutions are the elements that support the core of marketing. So the main element of marketing is promoting social exchanges. So marketing is based on improving social exchanges. These social exchanges could be related to material things in life, but also it's related to all types of exchange of the ideas, informations. These are all objects of analysis when you think about social exchanges. And since social exchanges is based on these four institutions, and marketing is and social exchanges are in the heart of marketing, we can see that marketing is in the heart of this modern system. So when we think about market capitalism, we think that marketing is in the heart of it. If you don't know what to sell, if you don't know what the market wants, if you don't know what are the demands, you cannot create these elements to improve social exchange based on these four institutions. And to finish this explanation, we need to think that marketing is the heart that support all these institutions that are in the heart of our economical system. And because of that, many people go against marketing because they believe that our economic system is bad. Of course, we have side effects of this economic system. I'm not telling that we don't have it, but of course, we have many amazing things changed in the last 2 centuries, and these improvements are noticeable. And if you believe that market capitalism is something bad for society, of course you need to believe that marketing is something bad. And a lot of criticism against marketing is based on this assumption. But what exactly is a social exchange? Basically, a social exchange is an exchange that can be a trade or not a trade between two or more parts. The first thing that you need to have a social exchange is to have two or more individuals or groups of individuals, that can be organizations or business, and these two parts are willing to exchange something. Also, they need to have the possibility to have a relationship between them. So they need to communicate each other. They need to have a common way to have an understanding on what they need and what they can give in this exchange. Also, each part of this transaction need to have something that the other part wants to achieve. You need to have something of value. For instance, Most of times when you think about financial exchanges, you may think that I'm going to give my money and then the business will give me a product or a service. But it's not that, this is not the only way of exchanging in society. When you vote for someone, you are willing to give your support. In exchange, you expect to receive something. For instance, for them, for the political to support the things that you believe, that he's going to fight to make things happen as you believe that is right. And because of that, you need to have something in value in both sides. Finally, we need to trust each other. Without trust, there is no exchange. If I don't believe that if I give if I give the company the money, if they are going to give me back the product, if I don't believe in that, probably I'm not going to buy it. So to have a social exchange, you need to. A social exchange is based on trust. And finally, you need to be free to accept the conditions of others. Without freedom, you don't have a social exchange. This means that if you have a forced relation, for instance, when you pay taxes, it's not a social exchange because you need to pay it. And because of that, you don't have the freedom to say no, and at least without, you can have some penalties if you say so. If you say, okay, I'm not going to pay taxes, so you may find some trouble. And because of that, social exchanges is basically the heart of our marketing system. And the whole of marketing is basically improving social exchange. When one part of these transactions are willing to improve this social exchange by understanding what is value in the point of view of other, to deliver something that is trustful, and to have and improve a relationship, and all of this is made under the free will, so the free will of people. So this is social exchange. And marketing is basically a science and a practice aimed to improve social exchanges. To wrap up, let's think about marketing not as a way to sell things, not as a way to push to people what they don't need. Let's think about marketing as a way to deliver to people what they need, what they want, and also to understand what they need and they want before you start trying to sell something. If you're just trying to advertise and sell something, you can it's very hard to say that you're really doing a good marketing. To have a good marketing, you need to have something that people really want. And to do that, you need to understand people's minds before you start trying to sell your product. And this is the basic lesson on this first video. So this is it, students, and see you in the next videos.